Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Budirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktirbhavati Naishtaki. Om Ajnanatimiranjasya Jnananjana Shalake Shakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Sopadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapatakamalam Shri Gurunna Vaishnavamcha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Ragnathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dhinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpadaribhasya Kripa Sindhubhyev cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swaminiti Namine Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pachatya Deshatarne Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Prayer to Srimad Bhagavatam. Sarvasastradvi Piyusha Sarva Vedaika Satpala Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadya Sarva Lokaika Drikprita Sarva Bhagavada Prana Srimad Bhagavada Prabhu Kali Dvando Dittaditya Shri Krishna Parivartita Paramananda Pathaya Prema Vakshaksharayate Sarvada Sarva Sevyaya Shri Krishnaya Namostume Matheka Bandho Mat Sangin Mat Guru Man Mahadana Mannistaraka Madbhagya Madananda Namostute Asadu Sadhu Dadayin Adinocha Thakara Anamuncha Kadachin Mam Premna Hrit Khantayospura. Translation. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O nectar churned from the ocean of all Vedic scriptures, you are the most prominent transcendental fruit of the Vedas and are enriched with the jewels of all philosophical conclusions. You grant spiritual vision to all people of the world and are very light breath of the Vaishnava devotees. O Lord, you are the sun which has arisen to dispel the darkness of Kali Yuga. Actually, you are Lord Krishna who has returned among us. O Srimad Bhagavatam, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. By your recitation, one attains transcendental bliss, because your syllables shower down pure love of Krishna. You are to be served by everyone, always, for you are an incarnation of Lord Krishna. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O my only friend, companion and teacher, O my great wealth and deliverer, O my good fortune and bliss, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, O Srimad Bhagavatam, O bestower of saintliness to the unsaintly, O uplifter of the most fallen, please never leave me. Accompanied by pure love of Krishna, please manifest yourself in my heart and throat. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So last week we narrated the story of Citraketu, very interesting. You see, this is the beauty of Bhagavatam, that every page of Bhagavatam we meet devotees and the Lord, Supreme Lord. Two things. That's why this Bhagavatam prayer says that you are my deliverer. You are my everything. You are my teacher. You are my soul. So when in the age of Kali Yuga, Bhagavatam is the Krishna. When he left the world, when Krishna left, concluded his pastimes and left for the abode of Vaikunta, spiritual world, he gave us Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam is none other than Krishna, that we witness in every page of Bhagavatam. We see Krishna. That is the beauty, right? We see devotees and we see Krishna also. Now, By the mercy of Narada Muni, Citraketu could see his worshipable deity. Here is Sankarshan. Sankarshan description is there. He is devotee of Sankarshan, Lord Sankarshana. So the picture you can see that in the here in this so class is going on.
Oh, I forgot to.
So in this picture you can see Lord Sankarshan, very beautiful. Citraketu's worshipable deity is Sankarshan, so he meets with him. And still life is going on. It's not that Citraketu, after seeing the Lord, it is over. Like Dhruv Maharaja saw the Lord, but later he continued to be here for some time. So similarly, Citraketu, because of the power of mantra given by Narad Muni, he took darshan of the Lord and now he is glorifying the Lord. At this stage, Citraketu is already liberated only. That's why even after the curse of Mother Parvati, he remained as a demon, but remained as a devotee also. His body was a demonic body, but he was a devotee. This is the, because once you see the Lord, once you converse with the Lord, then that person is already liberated. So now the prayers are very extraordinary. As other devotees pray, Citraketu is not less. So he is also praying. The first verse 34, that is Canto 6, Chapter 16, text 34. Citraketu is now praying that he says, "O unconquerable Lord, although you cannot be conquered by anyone, you are certainly conquered by devotees who have control of the mind and senses. They can keep you under their control because you are costlessly merciful to devotees who desire no material profit from you. Material profit from you. Indeed, you give yourself to them, and because of this, you also have full control over your devotees." See, the main point in this prayer is a beautiful point, which we all should, learn this. Krishna is conquered by devotee. Nobody can conquer Krishna. He is supreme. Nobody can control him. But we see with the devotees, he is being controlled. In many places, we can see that Mother Yashoda is tying Krishna. He doesn't want to get tied, but our love tied him. That's all. And similarly, the cowherd boys, they jump on his shoulders, and they play with him. So he is controlled by devotees. So the secret is given by the Acharyas, Guru Parampara, how we can control the Lord. How we can control? By controlling our mind and senses. If we don't have mind control and sense control, it is not possible to control Krishna. It is not possible to even claim that we are devotees. So unless we control the senses and mind and practice Krishna consciousness, at one point we may, like Citraketu. Citraketu followed whatever his spiritual master told him. That is the secret. No, when he was advised that in this material world everything is temporary, and Citraketu was a king of the world. So don't lament for your death of your son. Now you come out, go do tapasya, chant this mantra. That was the advice given by his spiritual master, which he followed. What is the result? He is seeing the Lord. So same results we can also achieve. If we cannot achieve this result, then Prabhupada would not have preached. So the secret is we have to follow the spiritual master's directions. So here, Prabhupada is writing a beautiful purport. Maybe 1 hour will go in this only. Anyway, we'll try to cover as much as possible. The Lord and the devotees both conquer each other. The Lord is conquered by the devotees and the devotees are conquered by the Lord. Because of being conquered by one another, they both derive transcendental bliss from that relationship. So the great devotees, devotees are called, who are devotees? Those who have haitiki aprityata. Their devotion is not conditioned. It is unmotivated. Their devotion is unmotivated and they don't have any inner desire, uninterrupted. Unmotivated, uninterrupted. And it should be anyabhilashita sunyam. Other desires are not there except serving Krishna. So such devotees can conquer Krishna. So one devotee I could remember was this Sudama. Sudama, he came to Dwaraka to meet Krishna, but externally it looked that his wife pushed him so that he go there to Dwaraka and, ask for some help. He was in a very, very poor condition. But when he saw Krishna, he forgot to ask. He is Anyabhilashita Sunya devotee only. He doesn't have any motivation, anything. But because the wife forced him, he had to come. So he came and he didn't ask. He gave whatever puffed rice. He took it as, he took from other places as alms that he gave. He didn't take anything. He forgot to ask. But Krishna could have given him immediately. He took care of Sudama very nicely. All the queens served him. Everything we could see. But Sudama, he didn't give Krishna, didn't give him anything. Why? The acharyas are writing commentary. Why? Because Krishna felt ashamed before the love of Sudama. Whatever I give him, that is very less compared to his devotion. So Krishna felt shy. So see, this is the transcendental love between the devotee and the Lord. Krishna felt, ashamed. If I give something material, it is before his love, before his devotion, mine is nothing. So that much conquer our Sudama did to Krishna, you see. So this is the highest bliss, highest, whatever the material condition may be, devotees, they serve Krishna. In whatever condition, they serve Krishna. That is the greatness of devotees. They conquer Krishna. So conquering Krishna is easy. You know that? This secret. Conquering Krishna is easy. So in other verses, this Citraketu is saying, even if you have with motivation, if you pray, if you worship Krishna, then you will be successful. With motivation also, you will be successful. This story was often described by devotees, that there was a thief who heard Bhagavatam. In the narrations, they were narrating that Krishna is wearing gold ornaments, diamond ornaments, pearls and other expensive ornaments. He is in the Vrindavan forest. So some Bhagavata, some devotee Bhagavata was describing the beauty of the Lord. And so the thief was overhearing, oh, there is a person called Krishna and he is wearing all gold and diamonds and precious jewels. So I have to conquer him. So even with the motivation, if you try to conquer him, you can conquer him. That is the secret. There are simple secrets mentioned by our acharyas that, this is Purushottam month going on, show a ghee lamp, take tulsi, dried tulsi sticks, apply and then put cotton wigs, make cotton wigs and show, then, it gives, Krishna gives himself to you. Simple devotional activities engage us, focus our mind on his lotus feet and simultaneously attracts the attention of the Lord. We cannot conquer the Lord like Dhruva Maharaja within 6 months. Within 6 months, he got Krishna. Maybe with us, people like us, it may take lifetime, but it is sure. Slowly, steadily, we keep going, keep attracting Krishna's attention by chanting purely, by living unmotivated life. Yeah, whatever, full surrendered life, it is possible. It looks difficult, but it is possible. Becoming simple is very important. Focusing the mind is very important. Whatever condition we may be in, we can easily focus the mind. See, if somebody is very poor, they cannot do anything, right? But they can chant. Okay, money nobody is asking, but they can give some water, some tulsi. Simple things everybody can do, right? Like Sudama, he was very poor. He brought only puffed rice. That's why Krishna says, okay, puffed rice anybody can offer. Very simple, right? Very cheap. So if you give puffed rice, it is a secret. In South India, we give this puffed rice to the Lord, and we all know, from childhood, we know that Krishna likes this. He gives himself. So simple things, if we do, definitely we can conquer, we can seek his attention. So beautiful point one, I forgot anyway. So there are some simple techniques by which we throw out our mind, but the mind is filled with other things that we throw and then fill with Krishna conscious activities and Krishna's remembrance. Then mind will focus on Krishna's lotus feet. So the point came to my mind was, whatever condition we may be in, we should do devotional service. This is the guidelines we got from our senior devotees, acharyas and Guru Parampara. So one Mataji lived here. Today her cremation happened. I couldn't go, but my heart was there only. Prabhupada's disciple. Maybe you may get the information in WhatsApp. Her Grace Shubhangi Mataji. She was very old and her body never cooperated with her. All these years. I have seen her since all these years, 8-9 years here in Mayapur. The devotees praise her, no? Our body doesn't cooperate, but she always remained Krishna consciousness. Always Krishna conscious. That was not at all a problem for her. The body condition was not a hindrance. I was surprised. Some say headache comes, we cannot chant. Some stomach ache comes, we are not able to chant. Some problem comes, we are disturbed. We are not able to chant. First thing we do is we leave chanting. We leave Mangalarti. We are tired. We put all these excuses for our devotional service. Devotional service is independent of external things. This is a proven fact. For that, we are seeing live examples. The body condition is not an hindrance for our devotion. Yes, body condition is not an hindrance. If an individual, if a devotee is determined to do the devotional service at any cost, they will chant properly and they will remember Krishna always. That's what the Mataji, someone Mataji was glorifying this Rupangi Mataji, that her poor health was not at all a disturbance for her devotional service. I was again and again thinking about that same point. Okay, because I am a person who if I am sick, I am not able to focus on the Lord. This instruction for me. If I am sick, I am not able to focus. If I am sick, I am not able to do. So that was my condition. So at this point, I am keep on putting into my mind. You see. So these all external conditions will not stop devotional service. Citraketu himself is proving. Becoming a demon is not a hindrance for devotional service. It's not a disturbance for his devotional service. He remained as a Gandharva. He remained as a king. He remained as a demon also, Vritrasura. He didn't stop his devotional service at all. So any condition, diviva, bhuviva, mamastuva, so narakeva, narakantaka prakamam, avadhiri the charanara vindav, charanavate marano, apichintayami. You put me in heaven or put me in hell or put me in hellish conditions or any conditions. I will remember you. This is Kolasekara Alvar is praying. So we should develop the determination like this. Devotional service is very powerful. That if we start doing it with complete faith, then all these external conditions will not stop us in doing that. Okay. So devotees can conquer Krishna and Krishna is conquered by devotees. It is mutual and the bliss is increasing. Next verse, verse 35. My dear Lord, this cosmic manifestation and its creation, maintenance, annihilation are all but your opulences. Since Lord Brahma and the other creators are nothing but small portions of a portion of you, their partial power to create does not make them God, Ishvara. Their consciousness of themselves as separate lords is therefore merely false prestige. It is not valid. Still, Prabhupada is relating this verse with the modern scientist. What is the root cause of our problem in the existence of this material world? Root cause is that we always think that we can rule over, we can control the material world. That is the problem. That's why we are sent here. We are put into this material world because we thought that we can also become God. Now that we see everywhere in this world. Last week also I told the Shiva followers are chanting like this. Shivoham, Shivoham. Shivoham means I am Shiva. Once you follow somebody and you become them. But in Vaishnava tradition, becoming the last servant is our goal. Becoming the first servant is not our goal. Becoming the last servant, 7 steps, that is our goal. But as soon as we take up many, I have seen in my life, as soon as a person takes up devotional service, finished. They think that, oh, I am a devotee, everybody should serve. This is the mood we are seeing, but the right mood should be, I am the last one. I should serve everyone. That should be the right mood. So now here Citraketu is saying that cosmic manifestation and its creation, maintenance, annihilation is done by Shirodaka Sai Vishnu. Mahavishnu creates and Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu enters into each universe, and each universe is maintained by this Shirodaka Sai Vishnu. But ultimately, he is the doer. Everything comes from him. Aham sarvasya prabho. So, Krishna says, Mamaivamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. So, they are all small portions of the Supreme Lord. Spark. But the spark is thinking, I am the fire, the whole fire. So Prabhupada is now relating how a jiva is thinking that I am the creator, I am the maintainer, I am the annihilator. That he is relating, because mostly the scientists are thinking that we can stop death, we can produce lives, we can change this, that, and bring more calamity to this material world. Ultimately, Krishna's plan will go. But these people think that I am doing. We are doing. So that is really a false prestige. Their consciousness of themselves as separate lords is therefore merely a false prestige. It is not valid. It cannot be valid. So this mentality should be completely removed. That I am the protector, I am the controller, I am the maintainer, I am the doer. These things we have to take from our heart. We have to remove that from our heart. When we get success in some activities, this Maya attacks us time to time. My own experience also, when I get successful in some activities, I get nice beatings also from people, because you all know that I do arrange marriages. So when we arrange marriages, when it becomes successful, a Maya comes, oh, I have done. But simultaneously, Krishna slaps me also. Many times I get the slaps from people, that they ill treat me, uh, they insults me. Then I remember, oh, okay, the credit is not mine and the insults also not mine, right? Because I am not the doer, I am an instrument in the Lord's hand. That I should always remember. I should not become prestige, or I should not become false. I should not be affected by this false ego. I am the doer, I am the doer. That I have to remove. That's why Krishna is sending people, agents, to remind me, to remind me. So we cannot do. We cannot do anything. Everything is done by him, and we are instruments. We are instruments, in the positive actions and negative actions. In this material world, there are good and bad actions, right? Good actions are there, bad actions are there. But a jiva who wants to do good action, they become instruments in the good actions. The jiva who wants to become who wants to do bad things, they become instruments in the Lord's hand to do such things, and also suffer for that. That we have to clearly understand. And then verse 36, you exist in all times. You exist in all time is the core point of this verse. Every universe, you exist in the beginning, you exist in the middle and end of everything. From the most minute particle of the cosmic manifestation, the atom, to the gigantic universes and total material energy. Nonetheless, you are eternal, having no beginning, end, or middle. You are perceived to exist in those three phases, and thus you are permanent. When the cosmic manifestation does not exist, you exist as the original potency. So Krishna existed always. This material manifestation comes and goes, stays and then goes. But he remains. The Lord remains. So he is existing in everything also. In every atom, his energy is there. Everywhere, everything is his external energy, and he is existing in everything. So he doesn't have a beginning, he doesn't have a middle or end. He is there everywhere, every time, and he knows everything. Some things we know superficially, but not deeply. That's why we make mistakes now. We understand these points, but deeply we don't understand. Then, we think that, oh, again and again, every minute, we think that we can cheat Krishna. No, it's not possible, because he is everywhere. He is every time. He is there every time. He is there in every atom. So how we can cheat him? So in that way, we should realize him. He is there as a beginning, end, and middle. Everywhere he is there. He exists in all the times. He is Dhruvam, permanent. He is Dhruvam. That's what he is saying. And then verse 37, you exist in all spaces. Every universe is covered by 7 layers: earth, water, fire, air, sky, and total energy and false ego, each 10 times greater than the previous one. This we have studied in the 5th canto also. The first, so each universe is covered by this 7 layers, 10 times than the previous one. There are innumerable universes besides this one. Not only this universe, there are innumerable universes. And although they are unlimitedly large, they move about like atoms in you. Therefore, you are called Ananta. So here, Sankrishna, the Lord of Citraketu is Sankrishna. So all these universes are like a mustard seed on his head. Anantas, he is unlimited. The Anantas, head hood, many universes are there. He is holding all the universes, and each universe is like a mustard seed for him. So he is very, very unlimited. This unlimitedness, it is very difficult for us to understand also. It is beyond our imagination, beyond our perception, we can say it is. So Prabhupada is writing here that the origin of material creation is Mahavishnu, who lies in the causal ocean. While he sleeps in the ocean, millions of universes are generated as he exhales, and they are all annihilated when he inhales. So the Mahavishnu is Karanodaka Sai Vishnu, who is the lying down on the causal ocean. So when he breathes out, the universes are created. When he breathes in, universes are annihilated. There are much more details in this, which you could have seen in the previous cantos. This is a bit complicated science. We can understand how much we can understand. This Mahavishnu is a plenary portion of Vishnu Govinda. So he is Mahavishnu is just plenary portion of Krishna. So Krishna is the supreme. Okay. So Prabhupada is writing here, from Krishna or Govinda comes Balarama. From Balarama comes Sankarshana. And from Sankarshana, Narayana. From Narayana, second Sankarshana. And from second Sankarshana, Mahavishnu. And from Mahavishnu, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. And from Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, Sirodaka Sai Vishnu. Vishnu controls every universe. So now you see, from second Sankarshana, the Mahavishnu comes, and from Mahavishnu, this Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, and from Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, Sirodaka Sai Vishnu comes. This gives an idea of the meaning of Ananta, unlimited. What is to be said of unlimited potency and existence of the Lord? This verse describes the covering of the universe. How much the universe is covered. The first covering is earth. The second is water. Third is fire. Fourth is air. And fifth is sky. Sixth is the total material energy. That is also the energy, external energy of the Lord. And seventh is false ego. What is this false ego? False ego is the collective thinking of the living entities that I am the doer, Ahankar, false ego. Beginning with the covering of earth, each covering is 10 times greater than the previous one. Thus, we can only imagine how great each universe is. And there are many millions of universes, and these millions of universes are but quarter part of the spiritual world. This is more interesting. This many millions of universes are just 1/4 of the spiritual world. Spiritual world is the biggest one, which you may ask why we are not given much details about that. Because we are in jail. We are in prison house. In this prison house, the prisoners, they are not they are not free to go out. And so they don't know what is happening in the free world. So similarly, we are in prison house, and we are not aware of the spiritual world. Once we go there, we may be aware. So we are motivated to go there. That is very, very important. We are motivated to go to spiritual world. So that's what every Acharya is telling us, that we have to go there. So after glorifying the Lord, Citraketu is glorifying the devotee now. This is very important for a devotee, that many neophyte devotees, or we call Kanishtadhigaris or beginners, they only see glorify the Lord. But if you don't glorify the devotee, if you don't understand the value of devotee, then spiritual life, one cannot advance. I have seen this in many devotees. Like, they give importance to the Lord. Definitely that is good. That must be there. Ultimately that is there. But simultaneously, Krishna's order is that we have to give importance to devotees also. All devotees. All devotees. So I was surprised today. I read some conversation of Srila Prabhupada. that Prabhupada is saying that we should not criticize the messengers of the Lord. He says, authorized messengers of the Lord we cannot criticize because time, place, circumstances, they have come here and they preach the message of God. Whoever preaches the message of God, authorized, bona fide representatives, we are not, though they may not be Vaishnavas, we are not supposed to criticize. He's saying in one conversation, I was surprised, yeah. So devotees, we have to have this intelligence to not to criticize any devotees, and simultaneously we respect devotees, then only we can please Krishna. Otherwise, it's not possible. Okay. So here in verse 38, he's saying, O Lord, O Supreme, unintelligent persons who thirst for sense enjoyment and who worship various demigods are no better than animals in the human form of life. Because of their animalistic propensities, they fail to worship your lordship, and instead they worship the insignificant demigods who are but small sparks of your glory. With the destruction of the entire universe, including the demigods, the benedictions received from the demigods also vanish, just like the nobility when a king is no longer in power. So, Citraketu, the point, Citraketu is maybe later he's glorifying. Now he's saying about the demigod worship. He's criticizing about the demigod worships. Demigod worships, why he is criticizing the worship of demigods? Because demigod worshippers have this thirst for sense enjoyment. Their inner motive is to how I can enjoy. That is the inner motive. That's why they are criticized. So animal like men thirst for sense enjoyment, worship the demigods. That we say kama istaiste jnana anya devata. So the worshippers of anya devatas, Prabhupada is writing here. What is their motive? Their motive is to enjoy the senses. Their motive is to enjoy the senses. So their intelligence is very less. They are abuddhaya. They don't have intelligence. They're mentioned as, they have karma. But Bhagavatam suggests us, even if you have karma, no problem. Because we are in material world means we have karma. Otherwise, why we are here? Correct. So, akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena ejete purusham param. You have, see, whether full of material desire, from free from material desire, or desiring liberation. A person who has broader intelligence must by all means worship the supreme whole, the personality of God. Prabhupada is writing. So he is giving the solution also. He is asking the question and he is giving the solution also. So demigod worshippers are motivated inside. We have seen, no, such people cannot conquer the Lord. So, but these demigod worshippers are very less intelligent. Because they claim, but we have seen in many times in the world, they claim that they are devotees. They claim that they are doing devotion. This devotion doesn't come in the demigod worship at all. Bhakti, they say. Bhakti means it is only to Krishna, only to Vishnu, only to Narayana. Other things are, other things are called as the ritualistic activities, or it is called as some activity. We can call them as karma kanda. It is not described as devotion at all. So we have to understand that demigod worship, why demigod worship is not encouraged, because the benefits are very temporary. It's not permanent. If Krishna gives us opulence, it is permanent opulence. Like Dhuru Maharaja is eternally, he has got a kingdom which is bigger than his great-grandfather. He wanted a kingdom which is bigger than his great-grandfather's kingdom, which he got. That is Dhruva. So if Krishna gives you something, that is permanent. Permanent. He got permanent. But the demigods' boons are very temporary. Maybe in this temporary world also it is very temporary. There the Devi becomes Devi. Like we see, materialistic people have so much money. But that becomes very temporary, very temporary. Within no time, it goes out of the hand. Just out of the hand. I have seen many people. They don't use for them, they don't give to others, but they have to die and leave everything and die. So this is the result of temporary things in this material world. Okay. So even more, next verse is very beautiful verse. O Supreme Lord, 39. O Supreme Lord, if persons are obsessed with material desires for sense gratification, though material opulence worships you, who are the source of all knowledge and are transcendental to material qualities, they are not subject to material rebirth. Just as sterilized or fried seeds do not produce plants. Living entities are subjected to repetition of birth and death because they are conditioned by material nature. But since you are transcendental, one who is inclined to associate with you in transcendence escapes the conditions of material nature. Now he said, if you worship demigods, what happens? Worshipping demigods, you get temporary results. But if the same person with material desire also, if they worship the Supreme Lord, what happens? They becomes like a fried seed. Fried seed cannot sprout. Right? Fried, if you fry seeds and put it in the sand, in the soil, they cannot sprout. They cannot grow. Similarly, the devotees who worship Krishna, they become devotees, and once their devotion become very strong, then they don't come back here. And they become perfected in devotional service, and they don't have rebirth. Like fried seeds cannot grow, so they don't have, they are not in the samsara chakra. They don't have punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jadareshayanam. So they don't have repeated birth and death. So, Prabhupada is quoting a beautiful verse, Janma karma chame divyam yevam yoveti tatvatat tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mamedi suarjuna. So one who is hearing, one who is glorifying the Lord, one who is know the transcendental nature of Krishna's appearance and activities, Janma, Karma, Chame, Divyam. So if you know that Krishna's activities are Divyam, then once Tyaktva Deham Punarjanma, when once they leave the body, they don't get the body again. So this is the difference of worshipping demigods and worshipping the Supreme Lord. One may have material desire, no problem. But if they worship the Supreme Lord, they become like a fried seed. Slowly, the Hridaya Granthi, there's a Bhagavatam says, Hridaya Granthi, the knot in the heart gets cut off. Because we are now, we are every day, we are studying this 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Suvruda Moolam, Ashanga Sastrena, Dritena Chitva. You cut the tree with a powerful weapon, cut off, have detachment from this material world. So we say, cut off this tree. So this cut off happens by devotional service. When we perform devotional service, this attachment gets burnt. We will no longer have roots here. In this oil, if you have roots for the weeds, they grow up. If you do farming, you know this. However you clean the soil, some weeds sprout. Unless you put good effort in the soil to root out the weeds, it's difficult. Weeds are already there. in the soil. Similarly, in our mind, the field of our mind, we have weeds. These roads, they come up. They come up. We have to be very strong in doing devotional service. Externally, if we do the devotional service, what happens? We cut off definitely we control our senses. We cut off the weeds from externally, but the roots are still there. Hridaya Granthi, in our heart, in our mind, the material desires are very strongly deep rooted. That can be uprooted by sincere devotional service. If we are very external, then these desires will come up. Even after becoming devotees, after becoming initiated, a different way it manifests. So that's why we have problem in ISKCON society also. Because different kind of people who have different desires, they come here and they get that desires. Because once you do the farming, what happens? We give the land water, sunlight, and then we give nice fertilizer. So what happens? The good seeds are also coming up, and the bad seeds, weeds, which are inside, they will also grow. They will also grow. So unless the farmer is very careful, the weed becomes big and then it destroys the bhaktilata, other good trees, good plants. So we will lose our devotional service if the weeds grow up. Weeds grow up and then, we will lose the taste for chanting. So we need to be very careful. This can be done by the individual only. Spiritual master helps each and every disciple, no doubt. But we need to be even more careful, because before spiritual master, we are very much external. So this self-analysis, self-rectification, self-purification, that is our job only, to remove the weeds. So when somebody perfectly worships the Lord, if they do even motivated worship, this inside the material desire slowly get burnt. So that's why we have to do repeatedly chant the holy name, repeatedly do the things which are prescribed for us. So we need to be very careful to remove the weeds. And our worship, even though if it is, Citraketu is saying that even somebody is having motivated worship, but in this travel, in this path, in the bhakti path, slowly material desires are burnt off. That's what he is saying. Verse 40, devotees accept Bhagavata Dharma. So now he is coming to the devotees. He is glorifying the devotees. O unconquerable one, when you spoke about Bhagavata Dharma, which is the uncontaminated religious system for achieving the shelter of your lotus feet, that was your victory. Persons who have no material desires, like the Kumaras, who are self-satisfied sages, worship you to be liberated from material contamination. In other words, they accept the process of Bhagavata Dharma to achieve shelter at your lotus feet. Because Citraketu is also connected with the 4 Kumaras. So he is glorifying the 4 Kumaras, because 4 Kumaras also associates of Sankarshan, Lord Sankarshan. So he is saying that Bhagavata Dharma, we will go in deep next week about this Bhagavata Dharma, because this other marga, other paths are very difficult. Bhagavata Dharma, if we follow, then the result is guaranteed, which we will go through next week. Now it is time up. I will start next week with the 40th verse. Now if you have, because I need to ask some questions. If you have some questions, comments, clarifications, welcome. You are welcome. We will speak about Bhagavad Dharma next week. because again it is a big topic, so we'll take up in the next week. Until now, we have seen that how Citraketu is glorifying the Lord in the beginning, and then he is saying that Lord is the creator, he is the maintainer, he is the doer, and with devotees, the loving exchange is the Lord is conquered by the devotee, devotees are conquered by the Lord. That is the first verse. Second worship is so those who create false lordship. He's saying that nobody can claim this false lordship. Krishna is the lordship, and he exists. Krishna exists in all time. He exists in all spaces. That's why he's Ananta. And then worshipping the demigods, and the result is temporary. But even with the motivation, inner motivation, if we worship the Lord, that destroys our samskara. And devotees accepts Bhagavata Dharma, which we will continue next week. So please ask some questions. General also is okay, or today's subject also you can ask. Or each one of us should tell one point of today's class. If you don't open your mouth, each one of you tell one point from today.
Devotees are unmotivated, unreputed, and devotional service is independent of our condition.
Very good, very good. Yeah, devotees
and should become always last service.
Haituki apratyata. And yeah, very good point. Very good point. Yeah, devotional service is independent
Yes.
of any material condition. Very nice, Sunita. Thank you.
And one point you said, Mataji, becoming last service or something you told, Mataji.
Yes.
Point I forgot.
So the goal of our devotees is that we become the servant of servant. Means we don't want to become leader in the material world. Somebody wants to become leader. Somebody wants to become the king or prime minister, chief minister, leaders like that. That is their success, no? That's what they feel. But the success of devotional service is becoming the last servant.
Last servant, yes, no.
Yeah, we want, this is we want to become the last servant. Right?
Yes.
But as soon as somebody becomes devotee, take up the beadback, chant 16 rounds, or follow the regulative principles, they want to dictate others. Then they want to become leader, and this attitude changes. But devotional goal is to become the servant of servant of servant of servant of servant.
Yes, no.
Yeah, that we should never forget.
And from ant to topmost big living entity, we should serve, Mataji. Even small living entity also is very important.
Very nice, very nice. Yes, we should have service attitude. Service attitude.
Yes.
Yes, I expect some sentence, one or two sentence, Ruchira. Vidya Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, I found that point very striking. You were talking about Shubhangi Mataji, that whatever her body condition was, she didn't let it deter her devotional service.
Correct.
So I wish I could come to that.
Yeah, everybody should wish. We all should wish. We have to practice. That's why when some bodily pain comes, we keep chanting. We have to practice that. Then only it will be possible. At the time she left the body in Mayapur. She was very sick, and they were about to take her to the hospital. Within Mayapur only, she left peacefully. Not much pain, nothing. She had some illness, weakness continuously, but successful. Sure, for sure. Devotees are saying that she is an extraordinary devotee. Yeah, Shubhangi Mataji ki jai. Rasamurti Mataji.
And you said one point, Mataji, that devotional service is only to the Supreme Lord, only to Krishna, and not to demigods.
Yes, yes. And the ordinary people, they claim, no, we are also doing bhakti to Mata and Shivaji and Kartikeya, Ganesha, other many other things. And they think that they are devotees, Sai devotee, this devotee, that devotee. And the devotee word is only for Krishna.
Mm. Mm.
Very nice,
Yes.
very nice. Sudarshini Mataji, Ruchira Mataji. Some points. Either you have to ask question or repeat some points.
Yes, Mataji, Krishna is conquered by the devotees who've conquered their mind and senses.
Very nice.
So we have to strive towards that goal. Although it is like
Very
tough
very difficult.
for like us in female bodies, but we have to be like.
Yeah. Try to.
And the point you said like about Shubhangi Mataji only, so I was remembering like when I was suffering, you helped me a lot. Like when I was having sleepless nights for 3 months continuously, I could not sleep, and it was like, matlab, I was chanting, but like with no attention, and I was just completing my rounds. Like although I didn't miss them, but like जैसे ध्यान लगाना वैसा कुछ नहीं हो रहा था कि attentive chanting मतलब we are very weak in that respect ना.
Not only you, I
Yeah.
am also. I am also. If some pain, then it's very difficult. Very difficult.
Yeah, I feel Mataji, when there is mental trauma, like when we are suffering mentally, that is more difficult. Like bodily ailments, we can overcome.
Correct,
Uh,
correct,
m-
correct. You're 100%.
mental, I experienced this. Like although bodily pains also come, at that time we are able to like focus. But when there is some mental agony or like we can't sleep or depression kind of thing, then it's a great struggle for us to chant.
Correct, but what I do is, if it is mentally you are disturbed, keep going. Though it is not very attentive chanting, but you complete your chanting. Then slowly, gradually, because some people, they leave chanting, they leave all devotional service. No, you do it. You do it. Gradually, you will come out of that situation.
Yes,
So,
Mataji.
yeah, mental problems comes to everyone, not only you, everyone. So this is our practice. We have to practice. Okay, keep chanting, keep chanting, keep going, keep going. So some people,
And it was only chanting. Yes, it was
some
only chanting that helped me survive in that tough time. Like,
yes, yes.
yes.
See,
Otherwise,
my own example, I would like to give. See, in a year, 2 deaths. My brother and my mother. I was internally suffering only. Internally crying, suffering, night sleep, everything is disturbed. But we are devotees. We know. Theoretically, I know. I am theoretically, I know. So I have to follow. So the next day, the same day also, I chanted. I completed my chanting. I didn't miss my chanting because you have lots of time actually in such situations. So I kept on chanting, chanting, chanting. I started my reading. I started giving class. My own like students or those who attend my Tamil classes, there I'm very active. There when they got very surprised. What is this Mataji? Yesterday our mother passed away. Today she is giving class. Then I told, I told this example. Like if a drunkard, if he is very upset, something happens to him, what he does? What he does? Goes to bar and he drinks, right? So we are devotees. If we are stressed out, what we have to do? We have to do devotional service. So internally I am
yes, sir.
suffering. If I do devotional service, maybe I'm not very focused, but I keep myself engaged in devotional service. At least this basic thing I am doing. This is not a higher level devotion, but I am trying. So that's why I request everyone that whatever condition you are in, come out of such conditions. Throw the condition out. Yes. Everyone in this material world are suffering. Suffering is guaranteed here. Many they argue, no. Some are having nice life. No, nobody is having nice life. Different problem, that's all. So we have to practice. We see that how great devotees, they have so much bodily discomforts, but they don't bother. They keep going. Nice.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Sudarshini Mataji, some points. You please explain some points or some doubts.
No, Mataji, my all doubts get cleared.
Today, yes.
Yes.
All doubts cleared. But what point you like very much? One point you tell. There are so many points discussed here. So one point you please, one which you will remember. Mini said, Subhangi Mataji.
Yes. Everything is everything. Krishna is doing everything. We should not think that we are doing. We should not. We should come out of our this prestige or this false ego.
Correct, Mataji. Correct. Very nice. Because he is doing, we are only instruments. Very nice point. So we will remember all these points, meditate on as much as possible, and then go ahead with our devotional service. I would love to meet you all next Tuesday. If you have any doubts, you can ask in WhatsApp also. Thank you very much. Vancha kalpadarupasya kripasindhibhyev cha patithanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo. Rasamurthy, did you tell?
Dandavat pranam, Mataji.
Dandavat pranam. Did you tell any points? Yeah, you told.
About demigods.
Demigods, yes. Okay. See you next week. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat pranam, Mataji. Hare Krishna.